It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day. And as promised in Walkabout Wednesday yesterday, we are at the Bayho garden of Gail doing her annual maintenance. And Gail is at a point in the evolutionary succulent process of wanting to downsize and make things simpler. This aloe hybrid and the aloe bainsii over there at the other corner of the property are coming out. Gail feels like these plants look angry, and this is her home and her property and her rules. So what we're doing is Cullen and Miguel are removing this one. Cullen is going to take this piece in its entirety as a specimen for his garden at home. And look at all of these pieces that we have. I will be gifting these to clients, lucky clients, from now probably until the end of the year. So don't feel bad. I mean, where there was one, now there are like 6, 7, or 8. And this bainsii, we actually dug this out once before, about 2 years ago, because it was eating the house. And we did discover that it was growing right on top of a irrigation pipe that was cracked. It wasn't completely broken, but it was leaking. So we dug it all up, we cut it all up, we set 3 little pieces back in the ground, and 2 years later, this is what we've got. So this one will come out too, be cut up for parts, and then just populated throughout Southern California. What we're going to put here, there are 3 aloe attenuata variegatas in the back on the slope that are lost, that will be perfect right here. And then down on this end, this is the most beautiful stand of Zwartkopf aeoniums I have ever seen, and they have been here since inception of this garden, about 4 years. So I'm going to take a few from the back, and we're going to put them in over here where the aloe is. Then we're going to take a few more and put them over on the other flanking side of the property, so we have, you know, a Zwartkopf, my 3s. This needle agave filamentosa needles and strings might get moved depending on how it goes with the attenuatas. I feel like it might be a lot right here right now. There's a really cute little blue pot back here with an agave podatorum in it that's coming out, and I've got a mangave barney to put in that pot, and then that pot's going to go back on the patio where she can see and enjoy it. Just to give you an idea of how propagation works, see this big agave Kishokan? This is a magnificent specimen, isn't it? And last year when we came in to do maintenance, she had thrown off a number of pups, like a lot. So we dug her up and we cracked off all of her pups. The crew took some, and the 3 nicest, biggest ones we restaged right here. And aren't they stunning? You know, just, it's... Yeah, and they're pupping. So, you know, the gift that keeps on giving. This little aloe plicatillus right here, I don't remember what the story was with that. I feel like that was a piece off of a bigger one that we acquired somewhere in our travels, and that will slowly grow up on a small trunk and branch and be fantastic there. We've got a lot of aloe cameronii in this garden, and I just dug these up, and you know, there's all the roots and stems down there. I'm going to clean the bottom leaves and reset probably just 1 back in this space, because remember, cameronii is a bush aloe, so it gets, you know, really big, and I want to control growth. So by putting this one back, here's the pup, it'll turn really red, and then I can start a couple of these on the slope, and then they can be what they need to be. Greg removed a Euphorbia millii from this spot right here. Again, Gail felt like things were a little crowded, and it really was very, very large. Here, we took out an aloe brevifolia that we found a really good home for in the back, and I'm going to find another specimen for this pot. It also had a podatorum in it that just did not look good at all. Here's some really red cameronii, so you can kind of see the potential of this plant when stressed. It's just so, so pretty. You know how I'm always telling you, beware of the mother of thousands, the Kalanchoe? So, story is, this one, I don't know how it got here. I don't know if a bird pooped a seed or what, but I noticed this last year. It was small and cute, and I thought, okay, whatever, fine. But this year, I'm seeing it coming up in the sidewalk cracks. I'm seeing it coming up over here in this bed under the sea turtle. Look at all of these. This is terrifying to me. So we need to remember that Mother of Thousands is best contained in a pot surrounded by a lot of concrete, unless you want it all over your garden, in which case, God bless. All right. Then over here in the backyard, we're going to take out the portulacarias and move them to the slope and clean up some of this fern that's growing in the back, asparagus fern that's growing in the back. I don't love that, but the client does. Here's a big presentation of it right here. And it's kind of pretty, but it's vicious. I think that's why I don't like it. It has thorns. This Aeonium Herbicum, as you can see, is blooming out. So we'll go ahead and find another one in another space of the garden to put in its place right here. And we're going to let the pot ride. It still looks good. This part of the garden, moving, here's a couple of Aeoniums here that we could move over to the other side. This was a mangave that had pupped, and then everybody bloomed at once, with the exception of one pretty mom. So Luke and Hannah dug that hot mess out and just reset the one nice mama piece. Then these blue elf were all leggy and all over the place, and Hannah got those all dug up, cut, and reset nice and tight against that rock. Here's some of the detritus from her work. Sorry we missed the before on that. These guys work fast. Then over here, Luke is doing the same thing that they did over here, pulling out a mangave that decided to go off all at once. And we're also going to take the Aeoniums out of here and move them to the front like we discussed. This stand of foxtail agave attenuata, we're going to cut this one off because it's coming out into the lawn. So that'll get cut off and set down in the slope. These Aeoniums are all going to get dug up, cut, and reset because they're just a hot mess. And same with this over here. Yes, and the kangaroo paws, the anaxanthos, she's tired of them looking bad. We're just gonna get rid of them. And check out that Synodenium grantii. I planted this 5 years ago, and it is so happy and massive as to not be believed. I mean, for scale, look at me standing next to it. I mean, it's giant. It's just incredible. All right. Then down here, we're not done yet. I think we're going to take out the striata too, because that's a lot. This pot stays. It looks great. All right, down here, we've got Nate and Val disassembling the succulent fountain. I know, don't be sad. It was beautiful for years, but also just a lot of maintenance. So my idea was to rehome all of the beautiful succulents that were in it and take that aloe ferox down there that's planted in the ground. It's just kind of languishing there. Put that in here instead. Surround it with lava rock, black lava rock, and enjoy, because nobody blooms like an aloe ferox. So that's the plan for that. Then I'm going to pull all of these weeds. I'm going to put down a little bit of fresh DG and just recreate the Zen vibe here. The Draco is really getting big. I planted that. It was about a quarter of that size. What was it? When did we put that in? 2 years ago? I want to say maybe 3. Yeah, this is This is going to be massive, and I hope that she grows and branches soon. The rest of this slope, the gardener, the regular gardener, will be in charge of the weeding. Gail does not like, will not use poisons. So the weeds have to be mechanically managed. And you can see that she's got some gophers. You know, we're gonna shovel off that dirt and rework the rock. But you can see the succulents are fine. My fence post cactus are doing great. My aloe arborescence is arborescencing. The idea was that this is a bush aloe, is just to let it take over this whole section, and it's well on the way. Then down here, we will be adding more of the plant material that we dig up from the front and the back gardens, and that's the beauty of the succulent garden, is, you know, having places where there's room to move things. In another 5 years, I don't think you're going to be able to see the ground down here. It's going to be just a carpet of plant material. So we're going to have a little bit of patience. This is a western redbud, Cirrus tree, and it's struggling a little bit, but this is not irrigated down here. This is a xeriscape that relies on rainwater only, so it is a drought tolerant tree, but it surely would appreciate a little help. Yeah, so we're gonna continue to tear in, tidy up, do some renovating, and create some creative solutions for all of these areas.
Get to work, man.
Stop.
Alrighty then, we are wrapping it up here in Bayho, and Cully is setting some Zwartkopf aeoniums into this corner. In time, hopefully, they will balance with that gorgeous stand mid bed. And then we also put a few over under that king palm on the other side of the drive, so we'd have our 3 presentations. We dug up the sticks on fire, dug up all the roots, and reset cuttings. That's how we manage that plant over time, so it was not a big deal. Let's see, nothing changed here. I dug up those 3 Cameronii and planted the nicest looking one and put the other 2 down on the slope. Val tightened this area up after the guys got the Bainesii out. We brought up these 3 agave attenuata variegatas from the back. Those are stunning, and they're going to be beautiful there. And then took out the Euphorbia millii. She just felt like she didn't want anything here, so we didn't put anything here. And we dialed in this xeriscape section. I took the Potatorium out of the pot, sunk the pot, and put a striata that I found hidden in another area. And yeah, and I dug up all of the Cameronii here and set the nicest one back. So yeah, this is all nice and dialed in. Do you want to go over to that side now, Han? Okay. We didn't show you this side of the drive earlier. It just felt so overwhelming. There was so much going on. But this side, we did a cut down on a lot of the leggy aeoniums that were over here. Greg also found 3 irrigation issues that had to be dug out and repaired. So we reset a crassula. This agave is giving me life. I don't know. I mean, I bought that I think I got it at Oasis. It was really small. It was like in a 10-inch pot. And I had no idea that it would turn into that, but dang. Thank God I planted it far enough away from the sidewalk. Yeah, in the Marusia, here's a fun hack for you.
That's where the break was too.
There was an irrigation break right here, and this part, the Ruchia was connected, and this part, it was just dead. So after I cut out all the dead, I just took some rock and threw it on the ground. So it looks like, you know, like two separate presentations of Ruchia, although it's really not. And this little low-growing yucca is super fantastic too. This is really happy, very, very slow going. If you know what variety this is, let me know in the comments. I have never worked with it before. I think I got lucky with that. But wow, you know, check that out. It is just as bright as a penny.
That's agavoides pot.
It's what?
The lips agavoides.
Oh yes, and the agavoides. Whoa, oh, that's okay. Agavoides pot. I put those in there years ago. They don't get any water, and they're just as happy as they can be. I just love that little broken pot of agavoides. Okay, yeah, let's head before we head to the back. Here's a really tight little vignette. This is brick finish against her house, and it's a very narrow bed. There's irrigation in here. It's a super highway. There's footings. There's just all kinds of stuff going on. So I just staged a really pretty Mexican pot and did a little aloe noblesse, and voila. So this is just an idea for you if you've got a tight little corner and you're looking to do something cute. Back here, oh my gosh, I can breathe. It's amazing. Just taking out those Portulacaria Afra Variegata and moving them to the slope made this just so much better. It's just, it's just that sense of being able to breathe. Then also here, we took, I don't even remember what was here. A Cameroni ice. More Cameroni ice. Took that out. We could actually move that pot down back into the landscape if we wanted to. We took a blooming aeonium out of here. You already saw what Hannah did here. How she tightened up the mangaves and the blue elves. Over here, I just cut this Portulacaria back and exposed the rock. Did a little weeding. We tightened up the Mediopicta, dug out all the pups, limbed up the attenuatas, and I planted that little brevifolia from the front in this spot right here, where this is where the mangaves were. And then Hannah dug up and reset all the aeoniums. Where was this whale's tail?
What whale's tail?
It's sitting right here.
I have no idea.
Well, we took out the Anaxanthos, and we'll have to think about something fun to do here. This is a really neat spot in her yard because it's so protected and it gets a lot of filtered shade. Then down here on the slope, take a look at the fountain. Oh my gosh, I love it. It's so different, so sophisticated. We took all the plants out of there, staged that beautiful Aloe ferox, top dressed with black lava rock. Then we weeded the bed, put down a little more decomposed granite, and just wow. I just love that. What a neat look. Didn't do a whole lot down here, but we did add a number of things down in the slope, so it looks a little fuller now. I'm excited to see this really take off. We put Cameronii down there, Portulacaria down there, Striata, the needles and strings, a lot of really cool new things down there on the slope. So it's killing me not to be able to do finished work and do all the tight little weeding and re-rocking, but she didn't want to go that far with this. So I just have to not look at all of the tight little details and satisfy myself with the overall look. Cheese! And we'll see Gail again in a year. This has been Laura Eubanks with Hannah, Greg, Luke, Cully, Miguel, Val, and me, and your succulent tip of the day. Bye, guys.